Hello, all my beautiful souls. Welcome back into the Serene Corner, or welcome in if you are new. Hello. In the way I have been doing my research for today's video, I hope you guys are excited for. I'm pretty excited about today's video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni and the PR nightmare on both ends of the spectrum that this whole situation has been so far. And it's still an ongoing, developing thing. So I'm going to kind of leave my opinions about the actual details of the case out of it, because it's not what we're here to talk about really. What we're here to talk about is the PR nightmare for the both of them, especially for Blake, that this has been truly a disaster. But in order for us to do that, we kind of have to get into a little bit of a breakdown for those that are completely unaware of what's going on. There's a lot of confusion about what's going on as well with this. So we're going to do a quick timeline and break everything down from start to finish, top to bottom. And then I'll get into some reactions, some comment sections, because the comment sections have been juicy, girl. Juicy, girl. We're going to get into all that, and then we'll wrap it up with kind of, again, the PR crisis and nightmare that this kind of is for both of them. But grab your snacks, grab your drinks. I have a espresso, or kind of like a hot latte here in this cup that I got from older sister for Christmas. I know she watches my videos, so hey, girl, use your cup. And yeah, grab your drink. Let's get right into it. Let's start off with the timeline. All of this starts off early 2024. Because again, this all started with It Ends With Us. It Ends With Us, which was a book, which I read the book, did not watch a movie, and they turned it into a movie. That's where all of this starts off with, right? And so we got to go back to early 2024. And don't worry, it won't be a long story. I wanted to get the breakdown of what happened, right? And so in early 2024, there were on-set tensions during the production. Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni were co-stars in It Ends With Us, with Baldoni serving as director. During production, Lively was reporting raised concerns about his behavior on set, including like physical intimacy and attempting to like add like nude sections without like proper coordination, which, right. So then in May 2024, crisis management preparations begin on the PR side of things. Because of these tensions and these statements and headlines that Blake was kind of pushing in the media and as well talking about, Baldoni and the producer Jamie Heap hired crisis management expert Melissa Nathan to prepare for potential conflict with Lively during the film's promotion. Then in August, there were some post-production disagreements when production ended, and there was like some creative differences where there were differences between Lively and Baldoni during post-production, resulting in two just distinct versions of the film. And Lively, who had gained producer credit at that time, pushed for her own edit to go forward. And that became the final release of the film. And I feel like a lot of people didn't like the film. Let me know if you liked the film or not. I did not see it. The book was great. Then in December 2024, so now we're kind of caught up to like last month, legal actions were initiated. And so prior to this, okay, so we'll stop for a second in the timeline of August 2024 when like disagreements were definitely happening and the PR team was hired. Like a PR strategy was initiated at this time. You could tell because online discourse started to switch and flop about kind of the credibility of Blake Lively, her past experiences, the interviews that she had with the people were coming out. There was a lot of things coming out at that time about Blake Lively specifically that I did see in my For You page. I did see that happening. And I was like, oh, that's kind of confusing. That's weird. And then as well, too, the promotional period of all of that, which we'll get into a little bit later, the promotional push out for It Ends With Us was weird. It was so weird. And social media was talking about it left and right. I kept seeing girls talking about it. Blake specifically, just how she handled the rollout of promotion and interviews for It Ends With Us. And so that was all happening. So then in December, right, because August and then December hits, legal actions are initiated. On December 20th, Blake Lively filed a legal complaint against Justin Baldoni, his production company, Wayfair Studios, and publicist Jennifer Abel. And she's alleging essay or sex harassment, sexual harassment. She's alleging that, and a retaliatory smear campaign that was intended to damage her reputation, right? And so that's what I was talking about just a second ago with the August and December timeline of where TikTok especially was like basically dragging Blake, right? And that's true. That did happen. That is true. We'll get into more and how it goes. December 21st, following Lively's complaint, Baldoni was dropped by his talent agency, WME. December 21st, same day, New York Times publishes an article detailing Lively's allegations against Baldoni, including claims of coordinated smear campaigns. Because there was like screenshot, they include a lot of information in this article. Okay, and then late December, just responds. So then about a week or about 10 days later, December 31st, a few days ago, Baldoni filed a $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times, alleging that the newspaper's reportings on Lively's claims was defamatory and lacked proper verification. It's getting juicy. It's getting juicy. Okay, so then yesterday, January 3rd, reports indicated that, because then a lot of people started coming from, was like, why are you suing New York Times and not Blake? Make it make sense. He indicates that he does plan to sue Blake Lively, with his attorney stating intentions to release all communications between the two to refute her allegations. They're ready to drop the receipt, the screenshots, the text messages. Ooh, like I can't. What? And the January 4th, today, Ryan Reynolds, Lively's husband, was reported to have confronted Baldoni regarding his alleged behavior towards Lively. Baldoni claimed the encounter was aggressive, while Reynolds' representative described it as justified but a non-aggressive discussion. And the current status is that both are preparing for court, and this is an ongoing case because it's ongoing. And that's what also is making this so confusing. And again, it's Amber Heard and Johnny Depp 2.0. Truly, it is. It is. Tell me I'm wrong. The only thing I'm wrong about with that is the severity of the crimes that are being discussed and the situations that occurred. I believe Amber Heard and Johnny Depp are going through something serious-ish. Because I didn't really keep up much with that. I just saw the discourse that was happening online. Couldn't keep up with it enough. I couldn't watch the live court hearings and stuff like that. Absolutely not. But that's the timeline. Now we know from top to bottom at least what's going on and how this even started and how did we even get here. Now I'm going to watch a few videos, kind of getting a little bit more into it, because you know how the internet is. The internet is into the tea. They're invested. They're locked in. They're researching. So I want to react to some of those as well, too. So we pull those up and get those ready, and we'll get into it. But at least now we know what is going on. Okay, first we're going to get into, this is Bohemian_Diva99. And remember, any video that I ever reference is going to be linked down below with the creator, the exact video that I'm referencing or using in my video. I think I want to start saying the names of the creators as well, too, just in case people are lazy and they don't want to go to the comments or look into the description section. So this is Bohemian_Diva99, and she's as well talking about the timeline. But just again, now we're going to get into a little more of the depths of the conversation and discourse that's happening around this and how this is, again, a PR nightmare.
You know I love y'all, right? I love y'all so much. Y'all got me researching this timeline like I'm back in grad school. I got some tea for you. Do you remember when Blake Lively dropped her CRD complaint, right? So that's the California Civil Rights Division. She dropped her complaint with the CRD. And as I'm reading through the complaint, one of the points was number 10 in the 30-point memorandum. If Blake Lively and or infant is exposed to COVID again, Blake Lively must be provided with immediate notice as soon as Wayfair or any other production become aware of such exposure without her needing to uncover days later herself. So you remember how I was like, how did you end up bringing your baby and you and your baby are exposed to COVID? Me thinking that her and her child was exposed to COVID while during the filming production, right? So let me show you this quick screenshot.
Right, because she reports a lot of things happening during production. That's what timeline we're talking about. And this is, again, around the August timeline, or the before August, so from June to August.
Quick screenshot.
Okay, here's a screenshot. I'm so sorry to hear you and baby are sick. I know it's literally the last thing you needed right now. I pray things, mild symptoms, and more than anything, it's okay. If you feel up to it, I'm here for you. That's what that sounds like to me. Your mistake. Molly did get the new pages. I might last night. She didn't. Okay, and someone underlined something. I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out our lines. And that's Blake Lively again. Whenever I'm filming these videos, the trains are always going by. But yeah, so that's why it's saying I'm pumping in my trailer. She's making those accusations of things that were happening on set during filming and production. And so this kind of proves that there is an accusation that she's making about him coming into her trailer or something of the sort while she's pumping. And I believe this text message is proving that she's actually messaging him to enter the space where it's like, we can practice our lines, I'm just pumping. So makes it more nonchalant than more of a claim of a position of sexual harassment. Again, I'm not going to speak on opinions with this. Just letting you know that's what that's about. Let me know what you think. Okay, let's proceed.
Pay attention to the date timestamp, May 26, 2023, which means that Blake and her baby caught COVID before the 26th when Justin Baldoni texted her. The writer's strike started May 2nd, 2023. They started production in June of 2023. When you see the date timestamp of the text message where she invites Justin to her trailer while she was pumping, the actor's strike started July 14th, 2023. I say this because in the CRD complaint and the New York federal court complaint, the way the complaint is written, you would have thought that she caught COVID while on production of the movie set with her baby, except the timeline doesn't add up because they had to pause production for the writer's strike. They had a very short window of just a few weeks, and then they had to stop production because of the actor strike. So let me run you through the entire timeline from January 26, 2023 until now. So January 26, 2023, Justin Baldoni with her studios officially announced the film adaptation, Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel, It Ends With Us. Baldoni is set to direct and co-star. Blake Lively is cast as Lily. When they made the announcement on January 26, it had mixed reactions. So back in January, people were like, why in the hell did you cast Blake Lively? Principal photography started March 2023. That's when production started. And then reports, I guess it was a blind, back in March of 2023, reports emerged that creative tensions between Blake Lively and Baldoni over the direction of the film and the interpretation of Lily Bloom's character. She started this bullshit in March, man. March, that's when the drama started. May 2023, Colleen Hoover voices support for the casting choices during an interview, but subtly hints of creative disagreements surface as she mentions respecting everyone's creative vision for the project. I remember that. Then the Writers Guild strike began, so they had to stop production. Then they had to pause production. Now, mind you, not everything was paused, but anything that revolved script adjustments and rewrites, it complicated the situation. July 14th, 2023, SAG-AFTRA strike started, which completely halted everything. July 20th, 2023, photos leaked of Blake Lively in Lily's signature younger look goes viral. I remember that. And everyone was like, what the fuck is she wearing? Right? August of 2023, rumors started to surface that there were on-site conflicts between Baldoni and Lively, focusing on creative control and alleged. So, mind you,
I just want to say that the photo she's talking about of Blake Lively and people are like, what is she wearing? It's so funny that she's brought this up. This is giving me even more allure. So that's why I'm glad I did a quick little timeline breakdown. But this goes even further back than 2024. This is so crazy. But I remember vividly seeing TikTok videos, and I wish I would have found some of them. But maybe I do have one in here, actually. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. Of Blake wearing some egregious outfits. Egregious. Like, y'all, they were bad. Like, let's just be completely honest. These outfits were terrible. And I remember seeing clips and TikToks of that. And I was like, what is she wearing? What is actually going on? I have no idea. But again, usually in my head, I'm thinking, okay, PR needs attention, needs to at least get a headline, get on a front page, get somewhere or post it somewhere. So it never really fazed me like that. But there were some people talking about like just some of the outrageous outfits she was wearing, and I'm like, But very interesting. There's so, and also the writer's strike, I forgot that plays a role too. Like that occurred. Not that I forgot it occurred, but I forgot that like plays a role within like probably a timeline of a lot of recent productions and releases of material. Very interesting.
Announced the movie in January, right? Then production photography started in March. The beef was already starting in March, except it was a blind. And then people started whispering that they got issues. So from the moment she stepped foot on production, it was a problem. September 24th, 2023, production resumes following progress in SAG-AFTRA negotiations, but faces further delays due to continued disagreements amongst the creative team. So in September, they still beefing. They still got issues. But right now, people are treating it like a blind, little hints and everything else. October 10th, 2023, allegations emerge online that Blake Lively is unhappy with certain production decisions and felt undermined by Justin Baldoni. Public statements from both parties deny any significant conflict. November 15th, 2023, filming wraps amid ongoing rumors.
So this wasn't even early 2024, y'all. This is end of 2023. I'm in shock. I'm in shock. This is so crazy. This is so crazy. And I do want to note that I believe that this creator, specifically Bohemian Diva, does have more of a position that she's maybe not on, I guess, Team Blake or a certain side. So some of her opinions are a little bit biased, I would say, from an outside perspective, but I'm just listening to the timeline, like her, because she does at least go to the timeline.
Of tension, insiders describe a fraught production environment. This is November of 2023. August 2024, the movie releases garnering mixed reviews. While some praise the performances, others criticize the casting and the adaptation choices. Now everybody is involved. Like you can tell during the marketing and during the promotion, it's some drama. It's like, what is going on, right? And then that's when
the promotional clips were so bad. The interviews were so bad. Everything was so bad. The rollout, everything was just so terrible. Choices of wording was terrible. Like these people have years probably of media training, and I could just not tell in any of this like rollout for this specific movie. I kept seeing clips and I'm like, there's no like, is this the goal? Is this the strategy they're using to create discourse around this movie? Because it's already a very popular book. Like, what do we need to do this? And then also it's a very sensitive topic book. So it's also why I'm like, what is going on? Whatever.
social media started dragging the shit out of Blake. December 5th, 2024, Blake Lively files a complaint with the California Civil Rights Department alleging sexual harassment, retaliation, breach of agreement during production, and names Justin Baldoni, Wayfair Studios, and It Ends With Us, LLC as the respondents. December 18, 2024, Blake Lively allegations becomes public. The complaint claims she faced inappropriate behavior on set, which was not adequately addressed, and retaliation, raising concerns. Justin Baldoni denies the allegations through publicists, called them baseless. January 2nd, 2025, Blake Lively files a federal lawsuit in New York. But technically, she filed it on the 31st of December, but it was made public on the 2nd of January. And here we are now. So I hope you followed along with this timeline. But basically, what it sums up.
Thank you, Bohemian Queen, catching us up, making sure we're in depth, in detail. Oh my gosh, what are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking? Especially as like more things come out. How are you feeling as the audience and the viewership? Let me know. Because this is just crazy. And there's just so much discourse online. Okay, so what did I want to watch next? Okay. So people started asking the questions of the different lawsuits that were being filed. So again, Blake did file a second lawsuit, and people are calling it a second suit. I need clarification in the comments of Is it the second suit? Like there was one that she dropped and then she did another one? Or was it the fact that she did, again, like there was a civil thing she had to do first before she could even actually file her case? I'm not a lawyer, and nor do I need to be, but someone can answer those questions for me. But let's just hear what we're talking about with this second lawsuit that she's filing.
Blake Lively just filed another lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. This time, she filed a lawsuit asking for money in the New York federal court. So as you know, the first...
Pause. Why do the rich need money? I will never understand it. I will never understand it. Blake, what do you need money for? But see, now that's my personal opinion. So let me keep my personal opinion to myself when it comes to this. But sorry, I instantly, when I heard that, money...
First complaint was filed on Christmas Eve in California, and now this one is being filed on New Year's Eve in New York. Once again, she's not just going after Justin Baldoni, however, she's also suing Melissa Nathan, who's the PR crisis manager, and Jennifer Abel, who's his publicist. She's also suing the studio itself, which is Wayfair.
Okay, so she had a lawsuit then in California that was dropped prior. And now this one, that was in the time that we talked about earlier, is what's being reported on. Okay, that's all I need to know. So no need to answer in the comments. Now I know. So you don't have to keep typing if you were typing.
Blake is suing for sexual harassment as well as other things. As you know, things got really bad on the set to the point where she had to have an all hands on deck meeting. Wayfair Studios organized it. They were all there. She laid out a list of things she needed to feel comfortable again on set, and everyone signed it, including signing a form that said they would not retaliate against her for bringing up the sexual harassment claims. Blake and her team believe that Justin and his team held a whole smear campaign against her to make her reputation take a complete nosedive in the public. Baldoni's lawyer has come out and said that it's all false, that she's trying to fix her reputation, and the claims are just outrageous.
Did she have any part to play in the potential damaging of her reputation? I would argue yes. I would argue those interviews, the "it ends with us" rollout, specifically on her part, was terrible. And so she can clearly point out how words that came out of her mouth on a public platform, like an interview, for example, were part of the smear campaign. I would love to hear it. I really would. I would love to hear it. But if you don't have like detailed proof of that, I don't know how you're going to claim that in full, at least when it comes to the rollout and promotion of this, like smearing your image in any degree. A lot of people were just mainly talking about your sole actions and answers to interview questions and behaviors in interviews. And so I guess maybe you can highlight to them the behavior interview being a certain way because of other individuals, but I don't know. So like, what do you guys think about that? Did she have any role to play in the smear campaign that she's alleging?
Blake's attorneys gave this statement to TMZ today, saying that today she filed a federal complaint against Wayfair Studios and others in the Southern District of New York. She previously sent her California civil rights complaint in response to the retaliatory campaign Wayfair launched against her for reporting sexual harassment and workplace safety concerns. Unfortunately, Ms. Lively's decision to speak out has resulted in further retaliation and attacks. As alleged in Ms. Lively's federal complaint, Wayfair and its associates have violated federal and California state law by retaliating against her for reporting sexual harassment and workplace safety concerns. Now the defendants will answer for their conduct in federal court. Ms. Lively has brought this litigation in New York, where much of the relevant activities took place and where the complaint took place. And they made a point to say they reserve the right to pursue further action in different jurisdictions if called for.
Okay, she said, I'm not playing. She said, I'm not playing. All right, and that's her side, and that is her lawsuit. Okay, now I kind of want to get into some reactions of some other things. The comment sections, and just again, like reaction videos, less of the nitty-gritty details, more of the reactions. So let's get into that. People were talking with the lawyer a little bit, and I found that interesting. And there's like a clip of him that I saw that I did want to add in, actually. So let me just play that really quick.
A coordinated smear campaign to bring down Blake Lively?
100% no.
Do you plan to sue Blake Lively?
Absolutely.
You will?
Yes, we plan to release every single text messages between the two of them. We want the truth to be out there. We want the documents to be out there. We want people to make their determination based on receipts.
Ooh, he said based on receipts. So a lot of people have been noting that Blake Lively doesn't have a lot of receipts in terms of things. I think with that first filing that she's done, or whatever filing that she has completed, I don't think has been the official filing of her even having to provide receipts. I don't even know if we're to that point yet. I believe the kind of thing that she filed, you don't even have to have all those things yet. It's almost to then get to that point. It's like stepping stones to then actually get to a case. But yeah, interesting. Justin Baldoni's lawyer said that he has receipts and he wants people to make their judgment based off of the receipts. And so this is what's kind of getting this discourse of Team Justin, Team Blake, which is just, I cannot stand when rhetoric gets to this point of like picking sides. No sides should really be the play until all information is out, but the internet just never wants to wait for that. And the internet is always looking for somebody to point the finger at and blame and attack and cancel. So it's been a hot mess for the both of them. Primarily, though, for Blake, I will say. Primarily for Blake. Okay, let's play another video.
Blake Lively actually file a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. I'm Alex, I'm an attorney, and I am going to explain what the media is not telling you. By now, the whole world has seen Blake Lively sued her co-star Justin Baldoni. Well, yes and no. It's not quite a lawsuit yet. It likely will turn into one, and it likely will turn into one that goes to trial. But first, before that the lawsuit can actually be filed, she's required under California law to file with the California Civil Rights Department. So that is what she did. Now, if we're talking about litigation, generally speaking, a complaint or a petition, it can be called either thing depending on where you're located, is the initial filing in the law.
Okay, but that's for the suit in California. What about this New York one? So confused. See, that's why there's so much lore with this. Luckily, we're not even really touching on the court cases like that. And really what I'm looking at is the PR anyway. So we'll move past that. But people in the comments can clarify for us, because I know people at least want the details to be clear. Where she filed with who? Like, where did she file with who? Because as of what I know, the California one, if maybe it's not even going on anymore, it's really just this New York one. And also kind of the moving back and forth between all these suits doesn't look good for her as well either from a PR perspective. Because what is going on, girl? Why is everything so messy and chaotic with you? And yet with Justin, like, again, lawyer, I know who he is. I hear him speaking. I see what's going on. I see the cases. I see the receipts. I see everything lined out. That's not a good look, boo. Like, I'm telling you know, right now, that is not a good look. And I'm not picking any side. I'm just letting you know that is not a good look. Because what's going on? Why am I confused? I feel like I shouldn't be confused. I want to go back to one of the videos that I just played, but what I want to do is I went into the comment section under that video, and hopefully they're already very much so collecting all their research and evidence and whatnot, because I do not want this to become evidence in someone's case. Because I saw that they're pulling comments and Instagram comments, TikTok comments, and things people say as credibility for defamation on their suit. And this is Blake, for example, is doing this, and so I want to show you why. Sorry, I'm like got flustered on my words. So I'm like looking for the video at the same time. Okay.
Blake Lively just filed another.
Okay, so this video that I just showed you, we're going to look at the comments under that video. Okay, as you can see, I think I end up scrolling up as well too. I don't know why the search too was canceled. One's Blake Lively. Give me the tea, y'all. But literally done with Blake Lively. Blake Lively filed a complaint to get her story out. Now she's filing a lawsuit because Justin came with receipts. Amber Heard 2.0. Someone called her. What? And that's why someone said too that it's a different situation. Cancel Blake Lively, please. Blake Lively just can't handle the people naturally don't like her. And it's because everyone saw her for who she was. She's full of it. Blake Lively needs a reality check. Team Justin. Remember I said that? They will never make me like Blake Lively. She's a mean girl. So how do we collectively tell Blake Lively that we are done with her? What? He used to Blake and Ryan. What is Blake Lively? Broke? Why is she suing for money? Clock that tea, because that's what I said. Clock the tea. But as you see, even in the comment sections, people are dragging Blake. Like, how do you even fix this? Which I'm not going to tell you how for free. Number one. But this is such a PR nightmare. Well, depending on how you look at it. And so again, I want to tell you all the sauce and all the tea to it. Depending on how you look at it is, there's still, of course, masses of people that are Team Blake. But in terms of like her overall brand identity and representation, it's definitely no longer this, what is it, gossip girl, girl's girl, kind of like the it girl energy that Blake Lively gave. I don't think it's giving that anymore. And you guys in the comments can let me know if you agree or not, but it's not giving it girl. It's not giving the fans favorite. It's not giving any of that lately with Brooke Lively. It's really not. It's really not. Let me see if I have one other video as well too. And then I want to kind of wrap up again with some touching notes on both their PR. Both sides, because both sides is very interesting. I want to wrap up this video with kind of breaking down their crisis management roles on both sides, because again, that's really what's just been so interesting to see that's going on with this case, is just the reaction and how both sides teams are handling things. So let's get into Justin's team. Justin's team, it appears, has hired a crisis management expert, which is that Melissa Nathan lady, in anticipation of conflicts with Lively. And so this could suggest that they were maybe like aware of the potential conflicts and disputes, maybe from his side where he knew he did something wrong, and or knew that she was claiming he did something wrong or alleging he's done something wrong. They wanted to control that narrative early. So either way you look at this, you can look at it from either way, from a Team Blake point of view or a Team Justin point of view. So we won't really touch on that. However, the choice to handle tensions reactively rather than proactively diffusing them may have backfired. And so, yeah, I agree with that. I feel like some of them may have backfired, where he was trying to aggressively just handle PR and make sure that a crisis didn't even occur or even get to the public. But by trying to bury the potential crisis, if anything, it only like allowed the crisis to poke through the surface and or have people more interested if there was a crisis in the first place. But I will also argue that they have handled it slightly well in terms of communicating very honestly, honestly, in a lot of cadence. I would say that Blake Lively's team is going very quick and abrupt, and that's why they're having to backtrack and then redo, or there's a lot of like, it seems very quick and rush with their team versus his team, where it's definitely very planned out. Because people are even asking, like, why hasn't he sued Blake yet? Well, why would he sue the New York Times before Blake? Dude's probably like actually has a team planning things out and going by the book, you know? On Blake Lively's team, though, for example, Lively's legal complaint and public accusations positioned her as an advocate against harassment and professional exploitation. And because it positioned her that way, I just don't understand who's on her PR team. I really don't, because there's just so many like past experiences that she's had, other voices and people that have worked with her that could just discredit this or negate this to be true. And as well as how she handled the rollout of the movie, for her to sit and position herself as, again, an advocate or as, again, a victim as well, too, is dangerous rhetoric, especially if you do not have clear claims, receipts, because we don't know right now. We don't know if she has all these receipts and things like that, but it's just a very touchy space to dive into. It's just the way she's handling it, I just don't understand. And if this was the case and you knew you were experiencing this, then why did you handle the rollout and your interviews and your cadence and your wording? Like, it's nothing anyone else is doing around you. Because again, you can claim that the others around you are affecting things. That's one thing. But then when you step into the space and make actions, choices, wording, that's still you and your own choice. So I just don't understand. I'm not understanding how, again, that's how her positioning looks and appears in a lot of her positioning with this case and legal statements in discourse, is that she's victim and she's advocating against harassment in, you know, workplace professionalism and exploitation and handling things. But then when we're seeing the receipts and the actual information come out, it seems though she's on the opposite end of that. So I'm a little bit confused. And then her team framed her as standing up for personal and professional boundaries, aligning with broader social movements like the #MeToo movement. That's why it's so dangerous if anything that you're saying is not correct or is not the full statement. So again, with the dressing room situation with her pumping, I need someone to break that down and understand a little more about that. Because if you did invite him into the space when you were pumping, that's different than someone invading your space during pumping. And so I just need to understand. Because again, effective crisis management isn't just damage control. It requires shaping a story that aligns with public values while maintaining transparency. And so I just don't know how transparent Blake's side as being. I really don't. Because again, maintaining transparency would be coming to the table with the full receipts right away. Kind of how Justin's team is doing. So I don't know how I feel about that. So I'll leave again my personal opinions out of it, but just from looking at, again, the PR and how the teams are handling things, I'm a little confused by the overall goal of Blake Lively's team. I'm 100% clear of the goal of Justin's team from what I'm seeing roll out. Okay, and the impact of media and public perception. Yes, so articles from reputable outlets like the New York Times, which how reputable are they still? Anyway, amplified allegations on both sides, but public opinion often relies on the loudest narrative. And that's very true. And that's why, again, it's damaging for Blake to have this mass swarm of people literally saying, like, F you, girl. We never liked you. Especially, too, if she's not telling the full story about something so serious like harassment. It ruins things for people that actually do go through legitimate harassment. And so people are dogging her for that. Like, this better be the truth. Like, you better be speaking on the truth and not utilizing your privilege and celebrity status to just bully and berate someone else. So the New York Times as well kind of amplifying and, of course, kind of positioning themselves on her side in the beginning as well, too, because she did drop a suit first. Messy. That's why in the New York Times, they just jumped into things too quick. Because where are their PR team and their crisis management? Because why did they jump so quick on a headline and a story that's just so still developing? Like, that's why, again, you have to leave a lot of your own opinion and things out of it, and even really disseminate the information that you're taking in as well, too, because you don't know what's been fabricated. You don't know what's true and what's a lie. And especially with like celebs and like big ticket people like this, they just jumped on the ball too quick and now they're getting sued for it. Literally. Because it has the risk of misinformation and selective storytelling has fueled polarized reactions. Truly. And this is what happened with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. That was happening consistently. Like, there was every day a new headline and new buzzwords being used to like push a narrative for whatever side it was that day. Public backlash as well, too. Lively, despite being positioned as the victim in her complaint, has faced criticism from some fans who see her actions as retaliatory or opportunistic. Baldoni, similarly, is battling perceptions of being manipulative and unprofessional due to prior conflicts on set. You got to really navigate like the balance between like controlling the narrative and allowing the legal process to unfold without appearing overly defensive. That's true. And so I guess I could see the argument that Justin's being super defensive in his maneuvering without appearing like while the legal process is playing out and needing to allow it to play out. But even so is Blake. Both sides actually really are being super aggressive and like painting a narrative online before anything even rolls out. Like, bring the court documents, bring the public filings, bring the receipts. And that's why I am kind of liking Justin's lawyer, where he's saying, I'm just going to bring the receipts and let the public go based off of that. Like, let's stop with the talking. Put in the filings, put in the paperwork, put it on paper, okay? Sure. Lastly, we'll wrap up with kind of social media's role in escalating the hate and escalating just the drama. So like cancel culture and polarization. I hate the word cancel culture. I do not think it exists. But both parties are kind of subject to this cancellation, or at least in terms of just a shift within their narrative and identity and perceived identity. And I would more so call it that than cancel culture. If anything, like people's perceived identities just change, but the support and the culture around them is always still there. The support is always still there. So it's just how we now see the individual. Anywho, there's been like this cancel culture kind of around both parties where fans either, rally behind them or turn against them entirely. Twitter and TikTok are like the amplifiers of this, of course. And the PR teams, like the key strategies for like PR teams focus on like de-escalation of like factual points and ignore like the baseless rumors, ignore the rumors, which I will say too, Justin's team is doing. They've heard things that are being like narratives being painted, and they're bringing the receipts of what's actually happened. They're bringing in statements and testimonies from people that were actually there. I need to look after this. I really want to look more at the strategies of Blake Lively's team, because I'm not finding enough. And every time I'm going to look, I'm getting confused. And I feel like I shouldn't be confused about really anything, especially if you are on the side of like the victim accusing someone, right? Anyway, and then releasing statements that emphasize mutual respect and due process rather than fueling public drama. I feel like nowadays, even like lawyers barely listen to that nowadays, because I've been seeing lawyers just getting so feral at this point where they're like just calling people out left and right, where it's like, where's the receipts? It's even like that Luigi case that's happening right now. Like his lawyer's been like, use your common sense. Like he's been saying things where I'm like, this man don't care. He do not care. Oh my gosh. Overall, we're going to keep kind of watching this a little bit, at least watch the outcomes of how their public perception after this appears. Because Jesus Christ, Blake, this is just a dumpster fire for you, girl, especially someone that's like built a long-standing, like been in the industry for so long. I'm sorry. I know Justin's probably been in the industry. Don't know that man. So since I don't know that man, I'm just saying it's very this is tough, girl. This is a mess. And we need to clean this up quickly if we want to keep our reputation currently as it stands, which, if I'm honest with you, I feel like it's already too far gone unless she sits down, does what I want to give the advice, because she ain't paying me. Girl, no, not doing it. But there's something that could be done. But again, will she actually do that? Probably not. Most celebrities never do. I want to know how you guys feel, though, about this, about everything that you've seen. If you have new updates, you have some more tea, some more information about this in the comments down below. Leave it there. How would you handle this PR crisis? How do you think they're handling this PR crisis? What discourse have you been seeing going on, girl? And how do you feel about this? How do you feel? And I will give my personal opinion on how I feel about things in the comments. I just kind of left it out of this video because I see a lot of people giving their personal opinion on things with this. And it's like, we don't even know the full story just yet. So also when things fully unfold, case closed, then I will as well maybe make a video like this on my personal opinion. But yeah, that's currently what we know. That's the timeline. That's some of the PR nightmares. The comment sections are ablaze. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's going to wrap up this trending takes for today. I think I've done enough. So I will see you guys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And I'll see you in the next one.